Hey folks, so we are going to do some art this morning for Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. Let me check my signal, make sure I'm coming through clear. I'll go through my intro, and we'll get to work here. I'm starting a little late. I think I'm gonna have a 3-hour. See if I can have a 3-hour session today if we can pull that off. And I'm going to be on a lot today, but I'll talk about that a little bit when we get started. So if checking my signal here, mic check, 1, 2, 3. Checking my signal here, mic check, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, sounds good. All right, cool. Let's see here. That came through okay, and I want to click on this. I'm going to if you're here in the future. After our stream is over, you can skip ahead. If you're here to look at the map details, you can skip ahead to the about an hour forward, and I'll be inside of Roll20. You can see how the map assets are used. Or anyone else that's just hanging out, you can skip forward a couple minutes if you've heard my intro spiel before when I get into work today. But for those that are new to the channel, welcome to the team. My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for the past 5 years, and a lot of the work that I publish is on DMsGuild.com. There are a slew of links in the description down below to take a look at the previous works that I've created. They all have extensive free previews. If you're on if you're here just for the artwork, there's probably about 150 different illustrations across the books that are just linked down below, plus other work like stock art and stuff that I have posted online there that you can check out too if you want. If you're here for D&D mechanics and Spelljammer ideas, hey, I run D&D games. I DM from level 1 to 20 in about 200 to 250 hours, and then I start a new run. And so hold on real quick here. Hit a button I wasn't supposed to, so I want to delete myself out of here. Get out of here. And yeah, okay, great. So if you think some of the stuff I build there is cool, it's got an extensive free preview, so you can click on the full preview button underneath the title page if you're on desktop, or if you're on a mobile phone, there'll be an eye icon on the right-hand side of the page. Eye icon, full preview link, either one. Click them, it'll pop open a PDF. You can read almost the entire document. Most of the stuff that I produce has a zip file that accompanies it, so if you buy it, you get like tokens or like play mats and stuff like that that come along with it as added assets and value. So if you think this stuff is cool and you want to support me, consider making a purchase and to, encourage further shenanigans like that. Otherwise, let's see. I just posted that. Hold on here. I'll click into that. Open here and here. Blurp, blurp. I'm rearranging my windows so you can actually see what I'm doing today. There we go. Good. I just posted I'm live on Twitter. You can, if you're on the Twitter X platform, you can follow me at Phil Kearney. I post artwork and different ideas and things that I'm doing. And I'll be posting the system map stuff that we'll be looking at later on today as well. Otherwise, we're at episode 263 today. So like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to help us continue growing. I picked up 2 people yesterday. God bless you folks. I'm on my climb to 500. When I get there, I'll share all my art tools. And then, of course, I'm providing free assets on Patreon. So if you want to consider following me on Patreon, you are certainly encouraged to do so. Here's a link to it. It's where is it? $1. Yeah, there you go. Patreon stuff. I only ask for $1 just to have support in the effort, and so thanks if you do. The book cover that we're looking at here, I created on episode 15. Episode 15. And we're episode 263 right now, so you can check the playlist to go see when I built this and all the other stuff that we had worked on. There's about 72 tokens and like 8 maps that are included with this for Lyzarax's different creatures and ships to use with this supplement and at your own table for Spelljammer campaigns. So you can see the creation of all that stuff here on stream with me, and again, once it publishes, all those assets will be in a zip file that's included with the purchase of this book. So I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, and I publish them online. Hey, Karen. So what does that mean? So we play test an idea that we think is cool, like making Spelljammer ship combat the same as character combat at the 5-foot scale in a dungeon like you're used to playing. So we come up with the mechanics to do that. We also then create a bunch of system mechanics for wild space systems and astral space. Create a bunch of concepts and mechanics and die roll systems for ship hazards. As well as like different exploration rules that you can use for like hex crawling and exploring inside of a campaign world that you built. So we test all that stuff. It turns out good. We send it off to an editor, cleans up the text, kicks it back to us. We put it into a layout program like this, and then we break up all the text into digestible chunks on each page. And once all of that is pulled together, we'll zoom into an individual page here. We'll extract this as a PDF document. We'll jump over here into Photoshop. We'll drop the page into Photoshop, and then we start illustrating on top of it. So once all the illustrations are done, we extract the illustrations out of the PDF without the text. Jump back over here, and we just insert the photo into as a block into the space that it fits on the page. Like this would be like however many inches tall this ends up being. I'll be able to scrape the edge, the box of text, the box of the image that it will fit in, will be from like this corner to this corner. And then the size of the box will go all the way up to the very bottom edge of this text line. So inside of Photoshop here, when I extract it, I'll mark right along underneath here. And then when I drop in my shape later on, I'll come over here. I can go to Insert, and I can go into Shapes, and I can go like this. And then I can come over here to the edge and just run it like from page to page like that and drop it down. And then jump over here and do shape format and just resize it based on whatever the image size is that we extract it as over here as a separate file. It'll tell us what its dimensions are in inches. I'll just match it here, and it'll automatically right size itself to what it needs to be, and I can just paste the JPEG image that we extracted from this page. It'll just be a separate JPEG image, so we'll just be able to like literally just drop it into the page, and it'll just sync up with everything that's already here. So it'll be very smooth, very, very smooth. It's worked on like 10 books that I've done so far. So it works fantastic. That's what we're getting. That's what we're doing. So we're going to continue with this, and at the in about 50 minutes, I'm going to take a tangent. I'm going to take like a 2-minute break, and then I'm going to go on a tangent and talk about the system generator tools that I'm making available for people to mess around with, so they have some free assets to build wild space system maps. It's apparently an issue out there of having easy assets to do that. So I just whipped up some rough, the rough tools that are going to be included in the zip file. The final ones will be in the zip file, but we have some like alpha, like sketches, some sketch version of the map assets that we use to create like this, like these type of things, or the system maps I showed in yesterday's stream, episode 262. You can go back to there and look at the 27th minute, and I go in and I look at like the speed of planets rotating around a star and the speed of a moon rotating around a planet, and how you map that and you place that on the grid. I put all those grids into a Roll20 page that's open access. For those that are here now, you can drop down into the Patreon link that I have linked down below to the article about it. But I'm going to, like I said, in about, when this pings 3 more times? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, yeah. This is going to ping 3 times. And when at third ping, that'll tell us to take a quick break. I'll go wet my whistle. And then we'll come back and we'll explore that Roll20 document as like a tear out conversation piece, and then when we're finished that, we'll cut scene, and then I'll come back and I'll if I have the endurance, I'll do some more artwork. So I'm still recovering. I'm intending on working till maybe 9:30 or so. So we'll see how things pan out. But right now we are working on. Good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad, Karen. So yeah, when we were last on, I was starting to mess around with some atmosphere around this ring world that we're on, and then I spent some more time yesterday. So I have this neat little spiraling cloud effect that encapsulates the environment that this community is built inside of, and you can see it continuing to tunnel around the ring as an atmosphere that clings to it as its own little line, like a tube, and then it curves up around and it merges in with that. So I hope I think I accomplished the effect, but it's still a little rough. But I'm pretty proud of it. So pretty proud. Let me find near sky. There we go. I wanted to pick at this for a minute because it shouldn't be curving up like that. That is not accurate. There we go. So I need to trim that down. So I'm just putting a mask layer over it. What's grinding my gears? Let's close that. I'm doing fine. All right. I have today off, so that means I get to do a lot of shit. Like I said, we're gonna go till 9:30 or so, and then I'm going to take a morning break for myself, and then it's 7 o'clock here in Seattle. So my intention is in 4 hours to come back and put in a couple hours on martial powers from like 11 till 2 here in Seattle, like a 3-hour block of converting the rest of the monk traditions, if I have the endurance to do it. So if you want me to cleave through all that stuff today with you, definitely show up and offer me some support to help keep me emotionally energized to put through all the work needed to get those things done. Otherwise, if I can last till 2, awesome. I'm going to then take an hour break to probably catch some lunch, and then I'll be back from 3 till 5 doing Eberron asset tokens. Eberron token assets. Eberron, I'm doing creature tokens for the Eberron adventure that I created with Andy Headley that I normally stream on Mondays and Thursday nights. But I was sick on Monday this week, and last night was Thanksgiving, so I was spending time with family and friends, so I didn't have the opportunity to stream. So I wanted to make it up to the Eberron crowd that likes the work that I do, and have that lunch, that afternoon stream this week for folks to catch up on what we got going on. So I'm just gonna fuck around with this for a while, and we're just gonna keep munching our way through these cloud assets and continue building out the lodge down here to flesh that out, extending what we had done yesterday. But right now I'm just using a simple mask layer to kind of ruffle up the edges here a little bit and bring it down so it doesn't have that big curve up. That's just the way that the ring would work, that it should be level all the way across. And ideally I would have I don't know, maybe that is the right idea. Maybe I should have some sort of like nah, that wouldn't make any sense. I was thinking like there'd be like a curve like this, but that's the point. It'd be totally off screen. Like there could be a curve that goes like this, where after a while you wouldn't see the sky that's directly above you because it's clear because it's nighttime, right? But you'd still be getting atmospheric and you'd still be getting light interference from the planet over here. So no matter what, it would be hitting particles unless you're on the dark side of the planet and it really is nighttime for you. So but the atmosphere on this isn't so thick that it wouldn't keep you from seeing the night sky above it anyway. So I think this is valid. I'm thinking about how much light would realistically come through if like this was, it would feel like daylight, and this feels more duskish. But that's probably just because of how much dark is along there. But like theoretically, if I'm sitting on this asteroid and I'm looking up, this whole sky should be, you know, lit up, you know, like bluish, right? Because that's the light that's going to get scattered in the atmosphere. And it should canopy the entire thing. There shouldn't be a break line here, but I want that. I want to further, you know, that air envelope effect that you get around objects that have a plane of gravity, that have a gravity plane. I want to emphasize that, which I think this tunneling is doing. And then, so to maintain that shape, it has to curve up and around like this. And I know at one level, I know that scale is an issue. I don't know. Let's just fuck around for a second. Just to see what happens. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know, what do you think, Aaron? You think I'm onto something here, or should I let it go and just keep the raw sky above the tube? I gotta be able to traipse in just some like similar clouds as this across this arc here, so it's like it's creating that curve effect around it here as well. Maybe that is the right way to do that. Oh, I kind of like that fade. I can curve it up a little. Oh, I do like that. Look at that. That feels good. Yeah, let's do that. We'll keep this curve going. Oh, and this helps build depth. we can see the size of the tube back here and how high it rises up off of the surface. It's about twice the height, right? That's kind of how that stuff works. So we can have this curve here just kind of dissolve into. Then we can just have it bleed out smoothly here, so we can still have little snippets of stars and stuff up here in the corner. Oh, we can just completely, this will work. I think this is gonna work because it fades out already up here, so we should be able to just have a light sheen across here. Just have it, there you go. Oh, I am really digging on this. I think this is definitely what we need to be doing. Holy shit. This is great. I'm still a little sick, so I'm going to be hogging a little bit as we go, but I'm doing okay. And I can finish off the cloud here, and then I can have more tracers across the sky here. There we go. that's our first beep. So 2 more of those tings, and we're going to shift gears and look at the Roll20 tools that I built for folks to play with. Just kind of gently easing this stuff in. It'll take a few moments for me to smooth this all out. I insist on doing it by hand instead of like figuring out vectors and shit like that to automate the process. I'd rather do it manually and know that I did it well. Clean up that edge. Now we have a reason to keep that edge there. I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. Oh, this is gonna be so fucking cool. I'm falling more and more, and that really helps. I think pull out. There's a lot of dark in this piece down here. I think I like the dark weighing against the planet. I think that's necessary, and I like the dark of the lawn in comparison to because we're gonna this base wood, this dark here that we have in this wood, we're gonna overlay this this green on top of it, well, red. This wood versus this wood. These are both wood colors that we found off of our reference documents here of rustic buildings in this space, I believe on this here. So I don't recall which one it was, but we pull it out of those. So we're going to use, we're going to texture this color overlaying these panels here so that we can have a more realistic looking building. We haven't added the texture yet. So again, this is the closest asset to the camera, so it requires the most detail, which is fine, as it should be. Here's the base. There we go. Despite my pleas to the gods, I don't think I'm going to have this done today. So we are going to be spending time off camera on Saturday, tomorrow, potentially finishing the piece off stage. I've got other illustrations I want to play with, and I want to start getting it on Monday. This has been a big production. It's a half-page illustration. It's a lot of pixels we're pushing. We're pushing tens of thousands of pixels here. So it's no small piece, but it's the, if I work on the same piece for too long on stream, it starts to feel stale, and I want to keep moving forward with stuff. I have 5 more combat illustrations to finish, and 4 environment pictures for the random system generator to complete as well. So I want to make sure I have time to get to all that stuff and still be done before mid-July. Yeah, I'm right, July. Fuck you. June, mid-June. January. I'm giving myself basically 50 days to finish this thing, and that's not a lot of time left. So I want to knock this thing down. So, which means I'm probably gonna have to spend some time off screen getting it done. Let's see, what is the next move I need to make? Wooden assets. Okay, we were just talking about that. So let's get after it. We're going to all that into account. We're going to call it, and then we're going to put windows over it. Panels. And the way that we're going to do that is pretty simple. Perfect. All right, so there's that, and then we'll duplicate and very, very simple. This is very simple, very, very simple. Duplicate and if my gut was right, we should have, it's close. So let's take the whole stack. That lines up pretty nicely. Lines up pretty nicely. That's pretty good. We'll leave it like that. We can duplicate and then drop it down. Create a little bit of space so these corner beams have more presence. There, and then we're going to duplicate this layer. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If each one of these planks is 1 foot, that's an 8-foot vaulted ceiling. That's not bad. That would mean, let's go back to this guy. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Up to the side here to give you some bulk. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6 feet tall. There you go. This is the size of this dude. Right here, there's a very tall, that's a very, very tall door that's appropriate for a nice sized lodge. This is going to be 6. Ooh, dilly. That's tall. That is a tall structure, dude. Okay. That's about this height. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's 4. That's a 4-foot railing. 4-foot railing is pretty common. This is actually the right size railing. 1, 2, 3. You see that shit? That's fantastic. We're doing great here. So yeah, this is the proper size. And yeah, that's a 5-foot, 10-foot. This feels about right. So like 8-foot doors, like a 8 or 9-foot door, something like that. It's ridiculously tall. We can drop down height on that a little bit. Actually, let's do that. I'm feeling good about this, man. I'm feeling really, really good about this. You always say that, Frost. You always say I have a really good feeling about this drop. Well, I do. That's great, Frost. You be you, my guy. Whoa, 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 that's very large. Yeah, and we'll fancify them doors when we get to it. I'm pretty happy with that though. That's an 8-foot door. Yeah, that's appropriate. It's a good sized door. That's what we're working on right now. There we am. Let's make another one of these. Duplicate your layers. Drop it on down to the side. If you're here in America, I hope you had a fantastic holiday. I did. Good times, good friends, good love. Let's see. Let's skew this. Oh no, we're going to perspective this. Oof, that's definitely too much. Maybe that's the right amount. Ooh, that lines up real nice. Look at that. That's pretty clean. It's pretty clean. All right, that pulls off the effect that we wanted, so we can scrape off the bottom here. And ultimately what we're going to end up doing is dropping the opacity on this just a touch like that. Just to have it sink in a bit. And we'll probably end up splashing some texture across the whole thing. I'm going to take a coffee sip here. And now that we have these planks of literally being a foot each, we can set into windows here and here and here. We have real easy structuring that we can use. This is fantastic. I couldn't have asked for a better progression here. This is freaking great. I'm going to duplicate this layer. Push it up and to the side. Let's free transform. Flip horizontal now, baby. And we'll slide this over to here, you see. And see if we can rotate this into position. I think we have an isometric perspective on this. I don't think we actually have. Oh yeah, we do. We're actually using foreshortening. Are we? Yeah, just a touch. That's okay. That's good. So let's. I bet I can make it with ISO. I can see now the difference in height in the rooftop over here. So I can once I get these slatted in, it's gonna. I should have put these slats in first before I built all this up. That's a lesson for the future for better construction. If I layer in all these assets beforehand, I'll be able to accurately measure roofs and similar shenanigans. So that's a great learning lesson. We're learning how to do architecture here, friends. I'm excited. We're carpe dieming real good. We're gonna carpe the diem out of this. Is that a thing? That fetch is not going to be a thing. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. Yeah, and this is using more appropriate. I'm actually going to skew and see how that works. Oh, skew works really, really good with this. That's a great tool. Not perfect. Pretty damn good. Let's perspective. Let's perspective just a touch. We're gonna line up here. Ooh, that lines up pretty nice. But it's yeah. Let's just start over. Let's just go isometric. And then we can perspective this way. That's the way to do it. There we go. That's pretty, it's off like a degree. So. Did I get you? Almost. Too much. This just might be too small. Let's just zoom in, see if I can save myself some fucking sanity. Yeah. The sanity secured. Good job. Hey, and that lines up real nice. So let's duplicate the layer and push it all up and see if it. Yeah, we have to twist. There we go. There we go. That's real smooth. Oh, that's real smooth. All right, cool. So let's take these two things and let's merge those together. And I feel like Nurple. Merge that one down. Merge. There you go. Let's see, what's our next step? Clean up. Hey, that's my second ping. So another one of those pings. And we're going to take a quick break and then come back and look at the Roll20 tools that I have put together for folks to make use of. So... let's go down to here and erase that stuff. Too much. Just a touch. Good. Too much. Good. Just want to get those. Nerf. I just want to make sure that these things are being properly separated. Nerf. Oof. Ouch. Okay. Well, that was a giant waste of fucking time because I gotta go back through and fix all this stuff. Because that is a skew. That is a horrible, horrible skew. So I have to fix that. Great catch. Go team us. Alright. Merge. Good. Now, yes, we do absolutely need to. Let's see. Let's go with perspective and see if we can. Resolve it this way. Oof, God, that is super, super close. Not bad. Let's try skewing just a smudge. Ooh, that worked. Ooh, it's just a touch off. Hold on. Let's see if I can just smudge it a touch. Nope. Perspective. Oof, God, that is so close. Can I perspective and hold that just a touch? Is that gonna work? Let's see if I can just nudge it just a touch. Skew. That's pretty damn good. All right, I'm happy with that. That's yes. That is very yes. Very, very yes. Now we can go to here, and I should snudge this just a touch as well. You can see that little gap in there. Perspective. Smush this just a bit. That's pretty good. What we got going on here? Hold on. Show me. Alright, cool. I think I'm happy with that. Now, I believe we can... Maybe we should just mask these. Instead of like outright erasing them, maybe I should just use a masking layer, just to keep things safe. Eh? Mask. Mask off. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Hey, I see some text down in the corner. Hold on real quick while I clean up this edge here for a second. I'll see what we got going on. Have you ever used Hero Forge? Miniatures make you one? No, I don't make minis. I just grab. I always use 2D. Always using 2D because I create 2D assets myself. I don't play in person. I only play online because I'm super blind and I can't see people's facial reactions in a room anyway. So I adore virtual tabletop gameplay, and it's always more fun just to fetch silly tokens and stuff that fits the mood off the internet in the moment than create anything with Heroes Forge. I respect what people build with Heroes Forge. Very much a respect, but I do not use it myself. That was super good. I am super freaking pleased with this. Delicious. There we go. Let's wonkadoodle with this a bit. Wonkadoodle with this a bit. Why are you not effectively affecting what I want? Thank you. I swear, I think I have to update all my garbage. Maybe, God willing, not today. But probably tonight after I've finished all my shit. I probably have to update all my software. Not happy. Software works great. Don't need an update. Thank you. Does exactly what I want it to do. Why, Karen, are you cooking up something? Hey, thanks for the birthday wish. The Thanksgiving wishes yesterday, by the way. It was very kind. Here. No, you don't owe me anything ever. You'll probably find something better to do in your future without me anyway, so limited engagement. Enjoy while we can. As Trent Reznor would say, this isn't meant to last, it's for right now. I do miss listening to licensed music. Back in the day, I'd totally throw on some Nin and listen to it and get demonetized like a god. Check your volume. I'm having difficulty hearing me. Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Let's check and see. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. That sounds real clear to me. Is the overall volume too low? Like, can you not hear the music either? Because I could just crank up the volume on my computer output overall. Like here, that'd probably be considerably louder. Hopefully, I'm not blowing out anybody's eardrums right now. But mic check, out anybody's eardrums right now. Oh no, that's not ridiculously loud at all. Out anybody's eardrums right now. Oh no, that's not ridiculously loud at all. I could probably actually take it. Oh no, that's not ridiculously loud at all. I could probably actually take it. Oh no, that's not. Oh my god, that feedback loop is shut up. That's not. Oh my god, that feedback loop is shut up. That's not. Oh my god, that feedback loop is shut up. That's not. Oh my god, that's okay. I don't know what happened with the volume there, but thank you. Thanks for the shout out. Appreciate that. Let's see. Boo, bounce, bounce. Down, down. Down, down. Down, down. I need to fix that roof now. See, it's like obviously off now. Like it should be about parallel to here, so it should actually extend down to here and then angle differently than I have it there. I love this planking effect. This is nice. These paneling effect has turned out very, very nicely for us. Let's drop that down a little bit more. Hey, Art Dev. Yeah. Yeah. Are you a dean? Well, welcome to the mix. We're new here. Or is it some other? Yeah, Spelljammer is a box set that was in 2nd edition D&D back in, I think it started in 91. It may have been 89, but there was like 20 or 30 books that TSR put out for Spelljammer in the original version. And then Wizards of the Coast in August last year published a 3-book, like a binder set, like 3 books, core mechanics, which is basically character options and some ship vehicle information. And then there was a monster manual, and then there was an adventure called Light as Araxis. So there was 3 books, but the main complaint about the rule set of Spelljammer is that it didn't have any rules on how to, like, how is a DM supposed to build Spelljammer systems or like use Spelljammer in a campaign outside of the adventure they provided. But I'm a real new D&D fan, so I just joined in 5. Hey, awesome! I've been at this for 30. Let's see. I've been at it for 36 years. So I started way back in the day, and like with Redbox, the BECME or the BX system, and evolved through 1st edition, 2nd edition, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and here we are, right? So I'm building my own stuff, and one of the main complaints about Spelljammer is that it doesn't have the same mechanical depth that 2nd edition did. Like in 2nd edition, there was so many books and so many rules that like how should I, like, if I wanted to do like an asteroid belt as a kingdom, how could I build that? There were multiple examples of that throughout the 30 books that TSR published for it, but there's like no mention of that sort of stuff in the 5e books. There hardly is any mechanics about it at all, which is a huge complaint. So this book that we're creating here, in case you didn't catch the very beginning of the stream, but this here, I'm waiting for this thing to scroll back, and it's locked up for the moment, but let's see. I've played since the box says, yeah, right on, Karen. Redbox are bitching, man. I was thinking like 20. I'm 50, so I've been around for a long time. Let's see. Here's the book that we have. It's 55,000 words. It's 106 pages. The first 86, the first 80 pages are, I'm waiting for the thing to refresh so you can see all the spiel. But the first 80 pages are combat mechanics that converts any ship or vehicle combat in 5e to use 5e character combat action economy, like action, bonus action, reaction, and move action is represented on a round per round basis as ship actions that the team can take. And then we have ship hazards like catching things on fire, ship mutiny, crew mutinies and stuff like that. And then we have exploration mechanics about like how far away can you see somebody that's 5 feet in size or smaller drifting in wild space. And like we have the wild space orrery is like a sonar system that you can concentrate on to be able to see further than you would normally be able to see. And then we have a conversion manual for the creatures menagerie for creatures that are 50 feet or larger in size, how they can scale up into kaiju. And then the last 26 pages is a conversion guide to use all those mechanics in the Light of Xeraxis adventure. So if you bought the Spelljammer Adventure box set and you got the Light of Xeraxis adventure and you wanted to use these mechanics, there's a 26-page guide as our second appendix for you. Like if you wanted to use per round ship-to-ship combat SCE style, ship Spelljammer combat and exploration style, then here's all the conversions for the combat, and here's the action that your enemies would take. And if you want to have a fleet combat, like if you don't have like a 30 on 30 ship, but you want to resolve it as quickly as like 6 or 7 goblins would attack your team, here's how to do that, and we break it all down for you in our adventure guide. And then so all these gaps that you see in the pages are things that need to be filled with diagrams and illustrations. So for the past 263 episodes, we've been creating all the art assets for this literally for the past 14 months. So the very first episode of this playlist was me opening up the Spelljammer box set that Wizards produced back on August 17th last year, and me looking at it and matching up and correlating what we could do with it. And then from there it was, let's build it. And then 263 episodes later, here we are. So I build games and I illustrate them online, and then when they're done, I publish them and I post them online. And there's links to stuff other that I've done downline in the description down below. And I've got about 15 minutes here. We're about down to a minute here, so we're going to be taking a break here in a minute. Literally a minute and a half. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to look at the Roll20 system asset tools that I've built for folks to be able to build their own wild space systems, because apparently there's a severe shortage of that shit out there, and people are like, how am I supposed to build a system for myself? Like, what tools can you use? So I built some tools that are free use that anyone can access as long as they're not being a wang rod. So I'm gonna let my timer pop, and then I'm gonna go refresh my coffee, and then we're gonna come back here and we're gonna look at the system tools that I built. So I have anyone that buys this off of DMsGuild when it publishes, it has 72 assets, like tokens, all the NPCs and creatures and ships that are in Light of Xeraxis, all the other ships that are included in the Spelljammer's Adventures in Space box set. We have ship maps for all that, or tokens for use in ship combat. We also have tokens for all the creatures that can be 50 feet or larger in size, so that you can have them fight your ships, at scale with each other, and a bunch of maps. It's like 90 assets that we provide in a zip file. If people pick this up. Well, it's a lot of stuff, but I'm going to be doing Kickstarters probably in 2025, and if anyone is like, hey, it's like in Kickstarters, you always have like, what's the risks to this project? And me being able to refer back to this art stream and the Eberron adventure stream that I do in the evenings, it'll be a strong demonstration of whatever asset that I'm trying to produce. I can reliably create 3-digit page count documents And if you jump on my Kickstarters in the future, you can be part of the process of creating it because you're aware of it. So, yeah. So I'm going to take a real fast break here, and just refill my coffee mug, and jump back on screen here. We're going to switch gears for a few minutes, just to play around with some BRB. 2 minutes, but stick around because you're gonna want to see the cool shit we're gonna do with the tokens, and I want to give you guys access to that stuff. And I'm going to ignore. I'm going to not be addressing the chat channel while I go through my little presentation, because I'm going to extract it from this live stream and publish it separately as a standalone document. So you're welcome to ask questions and stuff, but I won't actually get to them until I actually finish the little presentation thing. So, but stick around. So I'll be back in a minute. What are you saying? Oh, you had a question. Sorry, I don't see well, so I don't always catch things that are going on. If you can't, since. Let's just say I beat. Cheers, Karen. By the way, as fine as we can't, since it's probably interrupt this art. Since you're like a D&D veteran, could I get your opinion on some homebrew I made recently? Since you would probably have great advice. I mean, during the stream, no. But catch me either catch me on my Patreon or on my Twitter account. You can hit me up there, or you can drop in once the stream is over. You can drop in comments if you have some stuff. But this isn't the venue to look at homebrew stuff right now. So in the future, maybe I'll have an open mic that we can have that kind of stuff. But that's not the intent of this stream. But thanks for asking, and I'm honestly interested. You can catch me on Discords if you find me at Phil Kearney. I'm just Phil Kearney, so you can probably find me on Discords. But yeah, let me go ahead and take a quick break here, refill my coffee mug, and then we're going to get to work. So I'll be right back in around 2 minutes. All right, guys. Hey, so I'm going to prep up my screen here real quick, and we're going to jump back into this here. I'm going to not have a timer set, I'm just going to kind of let this be a free flow conversation, or I'm basically going to be showing off assets and stuff and how to use things. So it's not scripted. So if it turns out being a train wreck, I might record it separately at another time, but I'm going to see if I can get this right in one go. So I'm going to have a timer here. No, I don't want to have a timer. That's right. Here and there. Just getting things set up here. And take a sip of water. 40 seconds back on the stream. Right on. Let's see. Let me go ahead and first let's click here, and then we're going to here, and let's get our book cover back on here. This is the book cover that we created back around episode 15, so you can check that out if you're interested. And so, okay, you guys are welcome to chat if you want, but I'm going to be staying focused on the task at hand while we get through the process. So I don't know how long this is going to take, maybe a few minutes. God willing, only a few minutes, but I want to get it processed. So, and I wanted to post this up on Reddit and the Spelljammer Discord. You can... the Spelljammer Discord was asking about map assets, so I wanted to provide this presentation so they can take a look at it and to help direct people to my Patreon. There you go. So, doing a clean break. Clean break, and hey, Phil Kearney here, building the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration supplement that's going to be publishing on DMsGuild. I know a lot of people are asking about assets, like how to build Spelljammer wild systems, like what tools are out there that make it easy for them. So I decided to create some assets that'll make it easy for them. This is, I'm going to add this as part of the stream that we have for the Spelljammer Art stream that we've been creating, the exploration page art. And in the future, when you check out this video that we extract and publish online separately, you'll be able to drop down here and take a look at this public post linking to the public access Roll20 page. And you have to have an account with Roll20, but it doesn't cost you anything to have one, with access to the rough sketch version of the map tool assets that are included with this supplement when it publishes. So you click on my Patreon link, and it'll pop open the Spelljammer Wild System Mapping Tool Roll20. And it says, hey, you know, I'm building this supplement, and some of the assets that are going to be in the zip file are going to be tools that you can use to build on a map your own wild systems, wild space systems, very simple maps. That should actually say wild space system mapping tools. I should edit that. We'll update that when we get there. But for now, this is just something I'm putting up for people to play with, and we'll have something a little bit more official once the book publishes. So if you click down here, if you have your Roll20 map asset and you jump into the game, I use Roll20, but I mean, once you get these tools out of the zip file and the product, anyone can do it. But I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to rejoin as a player, because when you join this, you would be a player. Just don't be a Wangrod while you're in here, because maybe other people are going to come through and look at this stuff. But you can see here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 very basic system grid maps here. And so again, I'm loaded in here as a player, so I have the same privileges that you'll have when you have access to it. But I can grab these things and I can move these planets around, right? And then I can hit Control Z to, well, I was supposed to be able to hit, it used to be able to hit Control Z to put it back, but anyway, you can click on there. A couple quick notes for people that aren't familiar with Roll20. When you get access to this stuff, each one of these circles is a separate map. So you can see these little things that are popping up. Let's pop this up here, and it'll say, let's put in a little dot here, 11 by 11. This circle, this largest circle here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11 squares tall, right? So the central square here, A, is where, say, a sun would be. If you're playing Laya Zaraxis, the way that Laya Zaraxis works is it has 1, 2, 3, 4, and then each one of these squares would be a 100 million miles. So this would be the edge of wild space. So you'd call F on the Laya Zaraxis map. F would be the edge of the wild space system for Zaraxis space. A would be the central star, which is Zaraxis. There is a 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 different planet. Actually, F. We'll call F. We'll put here. There's a planet. I don't remember the name of the planet offhand. Hold on. Let me go find it here real quick in the document that we're building. This is impromptu, so we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants, and I'm waiting for this thing to catch up. Let's go look at. Hold on. Let me scroll forward here to get to our system maps. Here we'll look at objects. The system for Zaraxis space is right down. Okay, here's Zaraxis. We don't have the image in here yet, but there's Zaraxis, and then there's Verduran. So B would be Verduran in orbit around here, right? It's 100 million miles away. So that would be in orbit here at 100 million miles, and then C is Rivis. So that'd be 200 million miles away here at Rivis. And then D is Zerendar, which is 300 million miles. 1, 2, 3. There we go. This is going to work out. D is Zeradan. And then E is the Imperial Citadel, where the team has their encounter, and it's within a day's distance of Zeradan. And then the edge of wild space would be here at F. So if you were doing lattice, you could take this largest circle and just remove this one. You see, you've got multiples here, and we can just move them back into place. Worth noting that when you right-click on these, I don't believe you have you can move this one separately. Just be careful about how you're moving the circles around. But this would be the this would be literally the arrangement for Laya Zaraxis, A, B, C, and D. And so you as a let me get that back on screen here. You have all these different little samples here that you can use. You can tell this is real impromptu, right? Just making this out here for you guys to check out what we got going on. So you could rearrange these planets to be anywhere you want. When my book publishes, you'll see that generally something that's 400 million miles away from the central star, it takes hold on, 200 million miles away. It's like if you're starting here at C, which is 200 million miles away, like it has 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, 6 square, 7 square, 8 square, 9 square, 10 square, 11 square, 12 square, and then you're back to start, right? So that's every month. Like 200 million miles is how far away the Earth is, how far away Toril is from its star in the Forgotten Realms system. So the C position basically becomes your 200 million mile marker for how fast planets are going to go around the star. So if each planet can move 1 square every month, if your campaign is less than a month long, you don't have to move these more than a month. But like this planet is 100 million miles away, it only has 8 squares that it has to move around. So it only takes 8 months for it to complete a lap or an orbit, a year around the sun. So when you're building your Laya Zaraxis map, you can pretty much choose where you want your different planets to be positioned, knowing that the Citadel E is supposed to stay within a day of D, the Zerendar, the planet, and then F is the edge of the system. So again, you can get rid of this altogether. You can't erase it, but you can move it off screen, and then if you wanted to, you can then come over here and center this up, extract it, and you can just drop this into your own tabletop, or you can print it out and put it at your table. But wherever you want your planets to be, you can go into the Roll20 tool, arrange your planets as you need, provide your team with a map key, and this is a super simple way for anybody to be able to build a wild space system. When I actually have, you can see here that I'm resizing the circles, and they're getting, the line is getting smaller and further out of center. But you can see here at the this 11 by 11 space here, it's centered in the square. So as some of the assets that I'll be providing in the supplement once it publishes, if you're kind enough to purchase it, I will provide you with all these concentric circles that'll be properly centered in each of them from 1 to 20 squares out. And the way that I do it is that this star is occupying the 100 million miles central square of the wild space system. And so for this to be 100 million miles away, it's going to be in the center line here. So this B is going to always be, like you can see here, like the B is centered on this line here. So you can see how easily it sits inside of the orbit. So you can absolutely tell, like, this is where, like, you get offline like that, it starts to get a little funky, right? So we'll have a little guide of like dotted, of like colored squares to show, like this one here we were showing here, the 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. We'll have little squares that color in what the orbit is to go around at each scale, so that you'll know how many days. And again, at the 100 million mile scale, each square is 1 month of travel time for a planet. And then when you get down to the moon size that we have inside of this document here, you don't see it here right now, but we talk about planetary object speeds going around 100 million mile square grid is 1 square approximately every month. And then we're looking at, we don't have the assets in here yet, we're still building them, but each square is 50,000 miles, and 30 squares gets you around, each day it moves 50,000 miles. So over the course of 30 days, a moon will complete an orbit, or if it's a 28-day month, then it will complete a loop in every 28 days. So we'll have those tools in there for you to be able to directly upload into your own VTT, or once we get this built into Roll20, all those assets will be loaded into Roll20 for you as well. And that'll happen sometime after the book will publish, probably in January, and then we'll probably have the VTT assets and this loaded into Roll20 as something you could purchase as a Roll20 document, probably by March. So keep an eye out for that stuff. But I just wanted to take an opportunity to share this stuff, to let you know that these tools are out there for you guys to play with. If you had questions about, like, you can just use this, and just don't be a jerk, you know, and just treat it with respect. There's 5 different squares that you can mess around with, and this will probably get you by. Like, it certainly deals with Lazaraxis. You can change the scale if you wanted to use Tyrell. You could change the scale so, like, this is the central first 4, like the first 5 planets are within 400 million miles, so you can make each of these squares for 100 million miles instead. So moving 1 square is a season instead of a month. So these outer planets would take a very long time, years, to get around the sun in 1 orbit. But that's how you can scale out Tyrell into 400 million mile squares, because it's 3.2 billion miles across, which is 1.6 million miles, which is 4 squares, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is at 400 million miles. You'll hit the edge of the of realm space at this outer square, or at F, where we already have it here. That's 1.6 billion miles from realm space's sun. There you go. So it works out really well. So you can do that, and then you can break down the inner system maps to being 50 million miles if you want to. If you know the cosmology of realm space, you can look it up online. We include it with our book, but it's not published yet. So check out the book when it publishes. But I wanted to share this stuff with you guys for you to have the tools to play with yourself, in case you were wondering, how am I supposed to build these things? You can make use of this for now, and once the book publishes, we'll have better tools. Like, this is just the rough sketch version of this stuff. We'll have better looking tools, more universal tools for you guys to make use of, and you'll have all the timing mechanics in the book once it publishes. So if this is useful, give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, And check out my Patreon. I ask for $1 a month for people that want to support my work. And we're going to be doing Kickstarters probably starting in 2025. So thanks a lot for checking this stuff out. And if you're catching this on Reddit or on the Discords, ask me anything. Hit me up. I'm happy to have conversations. I love doing this stuff. I love DMing it. And I'm looking forward to being a part of the community more. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Thanks a lot. All right, so I'll be able to break that off into a chunk. I'm sure that was horrible, but I do all my shit off the cuff, and I know that in time I'm going to be able to just riff and just kick things off the cuff like that, and it'll just sound great. The only way I'm going to get better about it is by allowing myself to make mistakes and just go with first cuts and just get good at being on the fly, because I want to be able to just intuitively do stuff and be able to own whatever it is that I'm doing. It's so much better than me spending a shitload of time on editing stuff. I have too much artwork I have to do, and I have too many books to make to be an editor for content. I'm not a YouTube content producer. I make books and I illustrate them and I publish them online, but I do it all online so you guys can watch the process. And when I start doing Kickstarters, people that back the Kickstarter can, weigh in and be a part of the team. So let's see what crazy shenanigans are going on the side here. I don't hear physics. Why is there an atomic structure on my screen? Right on, my guy. But yeah, that's because Spelljammer is pirates in space. So you have to have, Spelljammer systems. There you go. Yeah, it's Spelljammer is wild space. It's pirates in space. That's what we do here. So let's get rid of that. And get rid of that, and we can get back to work. Yeah, what we're illustrating here is a ring world. So I'll get rid of it because you're not indoctrinated yet. There's spherical gravity for objects that are 10 miles or larger that operate like you expect gravity to work. But Spelljammer has a gravity plane. If you're smaller than 10 miles in size, you have just a flat plane that bisects the top and bottom of the structure that the plane crosses through. So on ring worlds like Saturn, you can actually have societies and communities build up on the rings that circle the planet. The planet has spherical gravity, but the gravity plane, the gravity field of the planet only extends out to the area that it occupies. In this illustration, we have an 800-mile planet occupying a 1,000-mile square. The gravity of that planet isn't going to extend outside of that 1,000-mile square. So this ring that circles the planet is composed of boulders that are smaller than 10 miles in size. So it has a planar gravity plane. You can walk on the top side or the bottom side, either way, because that's how Spelljammer in space works. That's just the physics that the game established. So this ring world, you have this community on the top side, but there's also a community on the bottom side too. And this is not affected by the spherical gravity of the planet that surrounds. So, but there's no rules about this that Wizards of the Coast provided. And there's not really any rules about it in the second edition either. So that's why we're creating this page to demonstrate how you can play with the different types of gravity to create different types of environment. And you can check back like the last 3 or 4 streams that we had done this. We were riffing on like what kind of a world would this be, and why would people build on here, and what's the story that goes on behind this, and what's the adventure here. And that was super fucking fun to do. I'm low-key in love with this community, and kind of want to come back around eventually and buff it out into an actual like a setting for people to mess around with. But that's going to be like a super side project. Hey, Willie, how you doing, my guy? By the way, the homebrew I mentioned is a ranger subclass called a Trusser. It's basically a parkourist and it is all about movement mobility. So, well, yeah, cool. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay, great. So we have our paneling on the building. I think the next thing for us to do would be shingles. Man, I hit that angle. Nice. Willie, how you doing, guy? The paneling texture is a bit small. Well, yeah, but it's appropriately sized. Here is a outline of a spearman holding a shield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just short of 6 feet tall. When you zoom out, no, you're not going to see it at all. But PDFs, you can zoom in crazy close. So I want to have this level of detail up front because I can, and B, I need the practice to do better in the future. And C, it's the largest level of detail that is going to be available in the illustration. So I want to make sure that I do it right so that, there we go. Oop, it's not quite long enough. We need to extend that out a touch. Let's do that. It's not just about creating the book, it's also about the illustration and the process that goes along with that. So I'm an illustrator. I was an illustrator far before I was a book creator. I actually only got into book illustration because I only got into book creation because I was looking for a different route for me to get paid for the work that I produce, because the industry was just being a little bit rough on freelancers at the time. So I was looking for an alternate solution, and I fell in love with making books. Oops. Let's do that. I see a lot of text kicking on this side, and I'll catch up with you in a minute. Just sad I keep missing around my guy. My favorite race in class? I'm a big fan of Warlocks, and I like the versatility of Warlock. And favorite race? Probably Dragonkin. I like the lizard folkiness of Dragonkin. Willie, you are welcome to be here anytime you can make it, my dude. I was a big, in 3rd edition, I was a big fan of Whisper Gnomes, but they didn't transpose those into 5e. Whisper Gnomes were like life, they're like Shadow Dark versions of gnomes. They're pretty badass. They're basically like skulkers. And if you look up artwork for Shadow Gnomes, they look absolutely just nefarious badasses. Like they look like Conan invading the Snake Temple. Is kind of what they look like, or at least that specific illustration looks like that, and that's just endearing to me. Let's duplicate that layer, and then we'll fix the perspective on this when we finish. There, and one more. There we go. Now let's bond those all together, and now let's free transform perspective. perspective here is right. The perspective up here is foreshortened, as it should be. So let's make sure we get... Ooh, that's close. That is close. Where are we at here? We're going to have to expand that a bit. Oh, that is so close. Let's nudge it just a... Can we just nudge it? Oh, that is perfect. That is crack perfect. Nice. Skill shots, my guys. It is an artist's lifeblood. Hitting those skill shots, making those curves, hitting that perfectly straight line. This is just mana of the gods for us. Just a little bit larger. People are like, why are books so expensive? Well, if you're not using AI, art's difficult and time-consuming and expensive. That was one of the original lessons I was trying to teach communities by doing these things. Like, this is how much work that goes into building a PDF that you're going to purchase. And then I just fell in love with the process. Of course I fell in love with the process. Why wouldn't I? We want to merge. There we go, straight edge down that. What's going on? Hey, Jamin. Why does this cabin vaguely remind me of the cabin from Telltale Games, The Walking Dead Season 2? I don't know. I always think about Yellowstone. I mean, it's not as majestic as Yellowstone for sure, but that's kind of the vibe that I've been getting off of while I've been building it. I don't actually know Walking Dead well enough, but I've seen the first season of it. So I don't know, maybe there's some sort of underlying something. Welcome to the team, by the way. We stream like 9 to 12 times a week. Assuming I'm not sick or it's a holiday, I stream pretty much Monday through Friday doing Spelljammer stuff. I do Eberron stuff in the evenings on Mondays and Thursdays, Tuesdays, sometimes Mondays, Wednesdays, or Fridays as well. I'll do system design for new Magic systems. I build books, I illustrate them, I publish them online. I'm trying to find, where is the base? Base! How low can you go? Death row? What about the no? Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal, the incredible D, public enemy number 1. 5-0 said freeze, and I got numb. Can I tell him that really never had a gun? It was the wax that the Terminator X spun. Anyway, sorry, had to do some public enemy there real quick because base. I'm such a tool. But I needed to build out this roof to be properly balanced in perspective. Sorry. There's actually Benny Benassi has a really great remix of Bring the Noise. Highly recommend it. If I didn't care about monetizing this channel, I'd play it for y'all. I used to stream on Twitch, and I'd play Sepultura, Metallica, Pantera, Led Zeppelin, Rush, Tool, and obviously I got demonetized. And like, well, if I ever want to do something with this, I should probably find some, royalty-free music. So I got into Epidemic, which is what we're listening to right now, and I stopped streaming copywritten music. But man, that was back when I was creating the 5-color mana spell point variant rules. I was streaming stuff on Twitch like that all the time. I still have all those back files. Maybe I'll Maybe I'll post to my Patreon, since they aren't public access. I don't know. I don't know how I'm supposed to. I don't know if that's. I don't know what the rules behind that kind of crap is. That is the wrong angle, McKerney. This is the angle that you want, my son. A lot of times I'm looking over here, but the text is over here, so I don't catch a lot of the conversation that goes on until I lift my head up and take a look. So if you ever get the feeling that I'm ignoring you, I'm completely ignoring you, because I'm trying to get some artwork done. But I love you being here, and occasionally I do come up for air, and when I do, I love answering questions, and it helps send me down a new rabbit hole to riff off of conversation points. So absolutely be encouraged to shout out and voice your opinion about stuff. Ah, there we can go. I can trim that down. Perfect. Nope. Wrong button. One second. I'll be there with you in a second. Hold on. What's up? Hey, James. Art takes a shitload of time. I would like to play when one. Well, Karen, I am going to be doing a hex crawl playtest for the Martial Power system that I stream. I'm going to be streaming about 3 hours of Martial Power development today, in about probably in about 2.5 hours. So, and that's going to be I'm going to do like a random hex crawl game that's got anyway, once we finish all of the class all the subclass conversions, we'll be starting conversations about what that hex crawl is going to look like. It's going to be in Ravnica, so that we can use color mana because martial characters using the martial power system, if they use color mana, only need to have 2 colors, and that's perfect for Ravnica because Ravnica has all 10 color pairings present. So that is off. Hold on. But it's I mean, like I've said before, and to be perfectly honest, it's if you are a $1 or more patron, then you'll have a vote on which day of the week we do the playtesting. And assuming that you're available on the day that we playtest, you'll have first rights to the seat until you prove yourself to be a jerk, and then you'll get kicked off the team, at which point I would expect you to cancel your membership with me as a Patreon and give me the bird and talk shit about me online because I kicked you out. But I mean, you know, I've been DMing for 30 years. So 36 years. So it's I've got a pretty steady hand and know how to resolve most character conflicts. But it's just going to be random generation and people running through and killing shit and figuring out ways to get across chasms and diving down into bogs and looking for magic items to help further the quest. It's going to be a whole cool little campaign from level 3 to 7, where it's basically going to be a West March style campaign where whoever shows up that day is going to be in whatever hex we left off last time. And the goal is to take a caravan of commoners that are non-characters through this hostile environment. So your job as characters is to scout ahead, clear out any threats, so that you can bring the convoy forward another hex or 2, and then crash for the night on a long rest. Keep it safe, and then the next day push forward again on your way, trying to get out of, because your ship crashes, you're stranded in the wilderness, it's hostile everywhere. You're just hex crawling your way to try to find some way back to civilization. So the playtest is basically on a short rest, long rest cycle to be able to move through your mana, to be able to use the different combat and exploration and social options that are available for using your mana with. And so you create your character, choose the colors that you like, assign your different abilities to the colors that you want, have your mana resources, and then just play D&D. And instead of spending spell slots, you spend mana to trigger these different effects that you have, and that's what the martial power system is. And I think a Ravnica hex crawl is probably going to be the most fun way for us to test low-level campaign stuff on it. I've been using it at my 17th, well, now 20th level table for the past 9 months, and I really like how it's playing at the high end, but I want to get some input about how it plays at the low end, so I have complete confidence that it's a really strong product. And again, if I don't have enough people to flesh out a full table off of my Patreons, then I'll open it up to the wider community. But again, whoever's a Patreon is going to have first right of access. Like you'll get until you prove you don't deserve a seat at the table. If you want one and you have time, Patreons will have first right to sit at the table. And if there's more Patreons than there's seats, then we'll do a raffle. It's the only way. It's the only fair way to do it. But that's coming down the pipe, and we're going to have that probably in the first quarter of 2024 here coming up. As soon as this book publishes, that becomes our side project. The Eberron project moves forward and becomes our Eberron becomes our morning project, Monday through Friday, and then the Eberron project that currently occupies the Monday and Thursday spot, that's then going to be occupied by building that Hexcrawl campaign toolkit for us to playtest the martial powers. And once the toolkit is built, I anticipate maybe in February or so, maybe March, firing up that campaign for a 3 to 7, like maybe a 5-month stretch. Yeah, and I don't mind sitting on martial powers till the middle of the year. I think it's worth it. If I'm going to build it, I'm going to build it right. So that's kind of how we roll here. So anyway, rant. There you go. I'm going to carve off a piece of this. And where'd that come from? Is that from here? Yeah, let's grab that. We're going to copy and paste. And we're going to flip, free transform. I get on rants like that on occasion, talking about stuff, and you'll see more and more of that in the future. Would you be willing to accept a newish player? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's heavily variant rules. Very, very variant rules. So, like, the stuff that I build are modifications and basically homebrewing off of 5e from a professional approach. Like, if I had $1 million budget, I'd be able to create these things faster, but I'm just an indie producer. But I really believe in playtesting stuff, and a lot of people don't. So I really pride myself that if I'm going to produce something, that it's something that's playtested. Most of the things that I build are things that I have at my own table. That like the spell point, the 5-color mana spell point variant rules. I use those in my own home, even though my table is an Eberron game. I love color mana in Eberron. I think it's fucking awesome. So that's a system that we've been using that for 4 years now. So I'm very confident with it, and I keep expanding on it. So it's but you know, Wizards is never going to create a color mana system for Magic the Gathering and D&D. It's such a niche idea. It doesn't have wide enough appeal that they never be able to get approval for the development of it, except for perhaps as a separate game. But I'm a nobody, and it's all in the DMsGuild. So I mean, you know, if they wanted to tap me for that conversation, I'd love it. But I never expect that. They've had Magic the Gathering and D&D for 20 years now, and they've yet to introduce any ideas about color mana into the D&D space. Ravnica was the first time they ever had a conversation really about D&D. Although they had the plane shift stuff that was produced back in 2016, that's on the DMsGuild. Very inspiring. And does make reference to color as thematic or philosophy, but doesn't actually provide any hard mechanics about color in your game, which is like the majority of, like, that was my start in the RPG community was, hey, here's how you can have color mana playing D&D. Go forth and have fun. And I've been building and riffing off of that since then. So the Martial Powers book it can be used without mana, but during the testing, I'm going to ask that you do, because that is the Martial Powers book is going to provide the same color mana system for all 13 classes, so everybody in D&D can be using a color mana spell point variant rules for like Strixhaven or whatever game it is that you want to, whatever campaign you're running. Actually, I do need to have this run across like that. Just need that. That's off angled. There we go. And that is what I need to get rid of right in there. Perfect. Nice. So I'm going to have to put some texturing in here next. So we got our slats. We're also going to have to build some windows, but I want to texture up the the roof and the walls first, kind of grime them up a little bit just to get some texture in there. But I think I might need to, let's see, what do we got going on here? Give me a second. I'm thinking things through. I'm going to duplicate this layer. Duplicate your layer and merge that. Let me catch up on text here real quick, guys. Hey, rain time is best. Thanks, Willie. I'll be picking up the Martial Power System. Yeah, right on, guy. Thanks. I do have questions. Have you ever thought of physical books? Oh, no. I've been a freelance illustrator since 2001, and I did a ton of well, not a ton, but maybe like 20 some odd different books during 3rd edition when the OGL license opened up, and there was a bunch of third-party content creators that were using 3rd edition mechanics and D20 games to build stuff. I was doing a lot of freelance illustration during that time, and I always got the books that were sent to me. Problem number 1, I am colorblind. I cannot see any color at all. All the work that I do in color is digital. As much as we like to think that what you see is what you print, when I get a printing back, if that print proof comes back and there's something wrong with the color, I need somebody external to help me, and I will not know how to adjust for it. Digitally, to print properly, it's impossible for me to do that. I do not see color, so I can't. Back in the 2001 era, they were only doing print on demand in black and white. All these small indie publishers were either using pencil sketches, ink, or gradient scales. So I was able to operate in black and white. Once things went full color, I had to step out of the physical print book and stay in the PDFs. 2, print books are really risky and expensive, especially when you get into Kickstarters. Kickstarters might be a lot more popular with a bunch of physical crap that you dump on top of it to get these really big numbers. I'd rather do a Kickstarter for $10 for a PDF that I know is going to be lock solid, building it here with you guys online, guaranteeing what you see is what you're going to get, than for me to take big risks with printed stuff. That is way too risky for my eyes. So that I have some very weird, hard limitations that really limit what my ability is to operate inside of this game space. So I have to literally outthink and outsmart my competition by coming up with more clever tools and having custom artwork to complement those tools and those ideas as my edge, because I can't compete in that physical space. So it's a really interesting restriction, and as everyone knows in creativity, restrictions creates opportunities. So I've really kind of relished in diving into those ideas and finding ways for me to be able to adapt and find ways to be able to operate in that game space. Like, I didn't know how to paint in color until one of my friends challenged me to fucking figure it out. God bless you, Larry, for doing it. I love you, man. 20 years later, it's just, man, I love doing this stuff. So I'm just sticking with PDFs. It makes it really easy for me to publish stuff. It also allows me to change things because I'm constantly updating my books. Like maybe every 6 months I update the Color Mana books. And we're going to be redoing all of them in 2024 when Wizards publishes the new set of books. But yeah, so I'm kind of a weird cookie. I'm not your normal not your normal guy. So I play by different rules. I'm going to grab this mountain brush. It looks like this. And I'm going to use that. Let me get my, hold on. I'll catch up on the window here in a second with you guys. But brush settings, shape dynamics. You can check in my videos. It talks about the colorblind process, how I can color. Even though I don't see it, I have a little like 7-minute video that demonstrates how I can color sample and play with stuff. It's kind of cool. It's worth, if you give a shit, you can check it out if you want to. I don't expect you to, but I'm gonna go with a transparent. Let's try doing this. Oh yeah. Let's do it this way. I'm one of those kids that always had to try to figure out how to do shit on my own. And so I got a pretty big chip on my shoulder about what, like where I'm limited and what I'm allowed to do, and tell me no and I'll take it as a challenge, not as a limit, because everything, my vision is such dog shit. Like basically everything in my life is some sort of a limitation. So actually I should probably start at the bottom here. So my entire life has been about how to build, like everything in my life has been how can I figure out how to make this work for me? Because it's called, you can check down in the description down below. It's called monochromatism. It's when you don't have any cones in your retina, and it basically locks me in. Without glasses, I've got 2200 vision, and I can't use glasses because it's not the shape of my eye that causes my vision to suck. It's because the firmware in the back of my eye doesn't translate the light it receives properly. So I'm stuck at basically a 72 dpi resolution, while everyone else in the world is like at 4x. So and I don't have any zoom software in my eyes either. So if I want to see what I'm looking at, I have to physically get closer to it. So things like road signs. I used to have to carry around a telescope with me so I could read a road sign. And so obviously I can't drive, because you can't fucking do that at 60 miles per hour. You're gonna get somebody killed. So I can't drive. And of course I grew up in Missouri, which has no public transportation anywhere. I actually grew up on a fucking ranch, scooping horse shit and plowing paddocks. It was a crazy childhood, man. I was handed a particularly interesting set of challenges in my life. But it's forced me to try to figure out how do I adapt? What do I need to do? When I finish all this tiling, I'm going to skew it so it's all at a tilt, so it matches the tilt of the roof here. It should look pretty good. But I'm just tiling some of these in here so I can copy and then paste, and then push them up to the line so I can skew them all together. It should look pretty good when we're done. But give me a second here. Yeah, I'm gonna catch up on the text down here. Oof. Is it gonna be a free source though? Oh, gotcha. Let's see. This book is in progress. All my books are 100% free preview. Check out all the books I have down below. You can click on, just if you're on a mobile phone, there'll be an eye icon. Click on that, or if you're on a desktop, underneath the book title, there'll be a link that says full preview. Literally, all my books are free preview, but people consistently buy my shit, probably because I put so much effort into it. Here, let's, I don't know why I'm trying to open up a separate page. Here, I'll show you. So, I mean, you don't have to pay for it if you don't want to, and a lot of people can't. Here's my Color Mana bundle. And here's my Spellpoint Warlocks. It's a pay what you want, but it's about to go gold. One of the few pay what you wants out there that are gold. But yeah, if you click on full preview, hold on real quick. You can see here it's a 10-page book. It's a $2 pay what you want. You don't have to buy it if you want to, but you don't even have to download it because it's got all 10 pages here. See, so you can look at the entire document. This way, when I make a new book, I can reference my other books. Go check out this content in Spellpoint Warlocks on page 7 to see what it is that we're talking about. Here's page 5, 6, Pack Magic and Mystic Arcanum USP. Additional variant rules, high magic and 10th level spells. Epic Wishes. Color Mana and Ravnica backgrounds. All this stuff is, you can steal it. You know, it's yours to take. But most of the time, what I keep seeing over and over again is somebody will pick up a copy of this at no cost. And then they'll come back around and like 2 or 3 days later, I'll see this entire bundle is purchased. But the Spell Point Warlock is missing from that bundle purchase, which means they bought the Spell Point Warlock previously, probably for free. And then when they come back and they download the full bundle, it doesn't acknowledge the Spell Point Warlock purchase because they already picked it up for free before. It basically becomes a coupon. It's what, $1 here, and the bundle altogether is total value cost is $18.98. If you pick up the Spell Point Warlock for free, like if you download it as a PDF, as a pay what you want, like if you got it for free, and then you came back here to the bundle, your special bundle price would be $17.98, not $18.98. But over and over again, I see people, after they read 1 or 2 of my books, they buy the entire thing for the full price. Like, I keep getting full price bundles, even though you guys don't have to. Because, just like Paizo, when you build quality content and you share it with people, people that value it naturally come back and give you money because they want you to keep making more shit. So, that's what's kind of cool but weird about Kickstarters. Because Kickstarters is like, trust us, we'll make you a thing and it'll work out fine. But when I do Kickstarters, hey, go look at 300 pages worth of free fucking content that I built for you to see that I know what I'm talking about. And now you can back me on a Kickstarter. You know, that's the attitude and the kind of conversation I want to have with my community when I start doing Kickstarters. Like, what's the risk? The only risk is me dying. Like, I will keep building these things until I am dead. And here's the proof of it. This stream right fucking here and now. So that is going to be my clarion call once I actually get into doing Kickstarters. So, but I got to build a community and I got to build it slow and smooth. So it's the people that I want, and so it's the attitude that I have, and that I can be as sincere with myself as possible, so that once I start actually building, once I actually start, accumulating, I won't have to compromise what I do to maintain my pace. Because if I build it slowly like this, with people that get what I'm trying to do, once that shit all locks down, it's just going to be more business as usual. It's just going to be more business. More people jumping in, and I'll get a Kickstarter, I'll get a Discord server up and running, and we'll just fuck around and build tools and play test things and just have fun. So that's the dream here. That's my dream. And I don't mind. It's a shame I'm 50, that it's so far down the pipe. But I don't mind putting in the work. Because honestly, no one's going to give a damn about what I have to say about anything until I can prove that what I say is worth listening to. And this is the only way I've found out so far. I can figure. If I can say, hey, here's some ideas that I have. Maybe you think they're cool. And for people to take it seriously. So, a lot of heavy lifting that I'm doing here. But God's willing, it's going to be worth it in the end. Because it's something I'm just absolutely obsessed with doing. It's like, any artists out there that's listening in knows this, that like, there's a pounding that just hits in my head. It's like, you have to create, go build, go build, go build. And it just drives through me until it's like, okay, fine, let me get the fucking work done. It's a pulse. I love it. It is my life's blood. I have learned so much more about me and developed so much more inner space for myself as a result of me learning to trust my intuition with artwork, that I can extend out into the physical world and my interactions with people, to follow my instincts wherever they lead me. Because time and time again, I have these visual proofs that my instincts create beautiful things, and that they're things that people value and want to spend time with. And that means that my thoughts are valuable, which means that I'm valuable. So that gives me a lot of confidence that I can insert myself into a conversation or be a participant in something, and know that just me being there and trying to help whatever is happening is going to be of benefit to the community that I'm a part of. And there's a lot of pride that goes into that. See, look at that. It's pretty good. That's some pretty good shingling. So that was pretty easy, right? Anyway, I'm going to take a quick sip of coffee here. I know that's water, but I'm doing a front end chaser. So where are we at here? Thanks, Willie. Yeah, don't worry about it, James. The stuff, yeah, you'll have, like I said, you'll have access to it. You'll pay me stuff when you want to pay me stuff. Otherwise, just make use of the stuff. If no one ever sees my stuff or makes use of it, how the hell am I supposed to gain any confidence from anybody? If I put stuff out there for free and let you see the tools, when you have the ability to give me money, you'll do it. It's like me hanging out in B. Dalton as a kid, reading books at the bookshelf, the manager being cool with it because I don't cause trouble. I do my lawns, I come back with my lawnmower money, I buy a D&D book once a month for years. From age 12 to 17, I would buy at least one D&D book a month. And I would always go to B. Dalton Books at the local mall, Chesterfield Mall in St. Louis, where I grew up. I was on a ranch that was about 30 miles out, but my sister would take me to the mall with her on the weekend. She'd hang out with her friends, and then I would just basically camp with a soda in the kids section of the bookstore, and just read books all day. And she'd come by and say, "Hey Phil, you want to go?" It's like, "All right, let's go." And then I'd put like the Dungeoneer Survival Guide back on the shelf. And then when I'd come back with my money, bam, let's buy the Dungeoneer Survival Guide. And I'd read it again. Super fun. So let's add some texture. This has been roof tiling and texturing. Let's add that in. Roof. What is that? Get out of the way. Oops, I have to do the front end too. Roof shingles. Where are you at? Oh, subtle. Sled hug. Hold on, let's grab this and retransform. Yeah, when I was 12, I didn't have shit for cash. But the managers knew, hey, Phil's going to come through. Just let him be. He's taking care of stuff. He's even cleaning up after himself and cleaning up after others, too. So I made myself an asset to the management there, so they were happy having me around so I could keep reading the books because they knew that I would come back and buy the books. It's not like I was a vagrant. I was just shopping. And because I didn't make myself a pest, they were cool with it. And that really just, that really set an attitude in my mind about like giving back, like big time. So once I started making books, I was immediately like, yeah, if I'm going to do books, I'm absolutely going to make these things full preview because you just gotta recognize where people are at and what they're capable of doing. So. It just comes down to having empathy for people. And there's games, man. And besides, if I don't offer them for free, they're just going to get pirated anyway. Like, if I offer them for free, why would anybody pirate them? The only reason people pirate them is because they can't afford them or they feel that you should get stuck. Like, I don't want you to get money, so I'm going to steal your shit. Well, if I'm offering you stuff, why would you hate on me for that? So, it's self-serving for sure. But I think it's just a good feedback loop. Let's skew a little bit more. I'm really happy with how this building is coming along. And again, this is going to be the most intense effort here because it's the most foreground. So once we move further back, like none of these are going to have that kind of detail at all. But we're getting pretty close to being done with this piece. I could probably actually finish it tomorrow, and then we can start something new on Monday. I kind of want to do that because there's a number of cool pieces. We have 9 pieces left. 4 of them are environments that I could probably get done maybe like in 5 hours. Not 100% there. But, I think we just locked up. Occasionally, the OBS software we use for streaming and Adobe get in a fight, and OBS always wins. So I have to save and close the document and thank everybody for doing well, and then reopen it. There. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock. I forgot to turn on my timer again. So I'm gonna kick on that timer again. We're gonna kick through another 20-minute circuit. We'll see how we're sitting. I might decide to call it a break at that point. I think we're gonna be done with this cabin by then. So let's go back to here and let's just futz with it a bit. Oh, that's what I want to do. There we go. Yeah, I want to grab this. Anyway, I rant about business and stuff a lot, but it's inspiring to me. I'm going to drop down the opacity on that touch. See how that sits. 85. I think that's okay. And then take that down to 85. Whoo-hoo, skill shot. Nice work. There, that should still feel pretty good. Yeah, it feels pretty good. I think I'm going to double down on these. There. Take this. I'm going to go with like maybe a 20%. Just shade this a bit. Just get that hard green off of there. Just to kind of stain it a little bit, you know? Erase around the edges here and keep it clean. We're going to muck up the sides also here in a minute. And here. Erase that a bit. Just get some texture going there. That feels pretty good. Let's see if I missed anything down here. What's up? Jingle bells. Cheers, my dude. That feels pretty good. And when we pan out, it should have a good graying effect. And we can add in shadow in here as well. Back it off a bit. That feels pretty good. Stitch that up. Now I have another layer here of just wall grit. That'll help make that beam that separates the floors. Got one floor, two floor, a really tall floor here, and then a second floor here, and then a third floor. So this is basically a 3-floor building, but this is like tall, like 1, 2, 3. Each of these slats is 1 foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, basically 20 feet. So it's basically a 2-story. It's a vaulted interior space. It's a nice grand room. Is that what those things are called? Anyway. I like it. I think it's a good setup. A two-story main. I am struggling with that word. What that word is supposed to be. But the Grand Hall. Grand Hall, thank you. The Grand Hall, two-story arched ceilings. And then second story being like 8 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we can go to 10 feet here for arched ceilings with a foot of separation. Foot of beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, oh, we have room for a third story here. One floor, so I can actually put a thicker beam across here. It connects here like that. Here to create that layer here. There we go. Zero. There we go. And that'll be an attic, so obviously it'll have a shorter roof, but still each 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's still a good 6 feet with some beams. So that's good enough. I am properly content with that. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, technically it's a 5-story building ish, but grand hall and then 2 upper levels and then an attic. So we can have bay windows, bedroom windows, roof windows here, and then roof windows here as well. Now like little keyholes here, here, and here. And we can have bay windows here, and here, and here. And we can have bay windows here and here. So once we finish off this shading that we're doing here, we can start building bay windows. And we'll just work our way up the page. And once all those windows are in place, we'll be done with the lodge. We'll probably have to put on some rim lighting for the reflection off of the planet, and edge lighting here for reflection off of the sun. Line all that stuff up, but it should be good enough. It won't be awesome, but it'll be good enough. And then we'll have to put ground shadow underneath here. And then eventually, once we finish all these buildings, we'll put the Spelljammer ship that's parked here. And this piece will be done, and we'll move on to the next one. So we might actually be building a Spelljammer ship on Monday. Not really sure. We'll see. Shadow effects here. I like this song a lot. I think it's cool. Same, adding some lighting effects here, filling it in. It doesn't have to be overly detailed. This is not an overly detailed piece at all. It's pretty trite on the details. But it's good enough. Yeah, let's just grab this ground dirt here real quick and drop that in underneath it. Here. Base on top of it, and then let's do this. Pull that out a bit like that. In a little bit more into the reality that sits inside of, right? There you go. Found a bell icon, did you, buddy? Nice job. Thanks for helping keep it fresh, my man. Oh, that makes me laugh. I should probably put some floor panels down there too. This is coming along nicely, man. I think we're doing some really fucking great work. And since we have all these squares built out, like all these shingles, all these planks built out, it's gonna be real easy for us to frame windows in this thing. Like really, really easy. So we're at 9:12 here. Let's see. How am I doing? Pretty happy with that. Building up the junks. What's up? Gotta have, yeah, no kidding, right? Gotta have some windows. Do I want to put in my floorboards first, though, before I get too far ahead? I think the answer is yes. Switch back to our roundy. I'm just going to manually drop these in. Too much espacio. Mal! Mal! Bien. That's about as much Spanish as I can speak right now. I took 3 semesters of it in college. And what it got me was a job in Arizona when I moved there from Missouri. What? You went to culinary school? What? You speak Spanish? Here. Be a kitchen manager. God damn. The staff hated me. Like, who the hell is this guy? And what right does he have to be a manager when we've been here for like 6 years? What does he know? Well, I mean, I had professional schooling. Like, we don't care. Hey, tell you what, let's just take knives out of your hand. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That was not a good place for me to be. I got into political fundraising after that. Once I was told that in no terms I was not welcome in the kitchen. That I think it may have just been a particularly hostile kitchen crew, but it really put a bad taste in my mouth about wanting to find a different kitchen. So I left the restaurant industry at that point, and got into fundraising. Started running a political call center, doing basically candidate fundraising, basically what it was. And then from there I started. I managed the call center. I had about 25 people on the team. And then once 9/11 happened and the economy soured for political contributions at the time, then I started to. I left that and I went to Chase Bank and became a fraud investigator, and I did fraudulent account like people that would open accounts fraudulently. They were called. Why am I blanking on this? I spent years doing it. Fraudulent applications. I was part of the FRAP team, FRAPP, fraud application. When it's when people are like using your mail to open accounts illegally, and then leave you with the bill because it's your identity that they stole. We would do fun things like have people go to banks with IDs and stuff like that, and they'd try to con the tellers and stuff, and we'd call the cops and have them show up and arrest them for fraud. It was, for criminal activity. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. That was a cool job for a while. And then Chase merged with Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo had much less oversight on the on credit card applications. They didn't care. They're just like, this is an acceptable loss of business for us to have fraudulent applications floating around that we only occasionally have to. We would rather you investigate and hold time getting people stuck with the fraudulent accounts than preventing them from being opened. So they had a much more hostile approach to fraud from consumer perspective. It was much harsher for consumers. So they lost maybe 50% of our team when that happened. I left shortly thereafter and got into mortgage and investment insurances, and I did that for a few years, and then I quit that and moved to Seattle. And while here in Seattle, I got into marketing, and now I do business analysis for an advertising firm here in town. I don't really talk about the business that I work for. The separation of state and power is important when you're a streamer, because I still have a day job. So cheers. Get that all in there, and then we'll erase it off the railing. So that's my day job, market analysis stuff, crunching numbers, analyzing things, finding efficiencies, blah, blah, blah. I got another 20 minutes in me, and then I'll cut it for the day. For this morning. And then we'll be back at 11 o'clock in about In a little less than 2 hours, I'll be back on to play with martial powers. So we're going to do another 20-minute stretch here. I'm going to get up, run around a little bit, get some work done, and then we'll come back and we'll have a couple hours spent on martial powers this afternoon. And then, hold on. There we go. Drop it in here. I'm going to put flowing like that here. There, that feels pretty good. Also need to, I'm still shaking off this cold. It's been kicking my ass. Hold on, where is that shade? I need to clean that up. There it is. There. Feeling pretty good. Hold on. What? No kidding. All right, little guy, move your way up here. Put him way outside the loop. Where are we at inside of here? I need to trim up that roof is looking a little scraggly. I need to clean it up a touch. There's one. Run down the line like that. Smudge that back in and keep that ring. Then Jeebus, dude. When do you stop? Don't stop until you get the police off the block of talking hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip. We're talking. Why is there still presence? Be gone! Jeebus, thank you. That looks like it belongs in place. Where's the scraggy coming from? Sorry, I'm trying to keep my layers clean here. That's the one. That's what I need to clean up right there. Good. Stop. Be gone! I banish you to the not seen realm of hidden layers. Shade. All right, so that feels like a pretty well-made structure. It's pretty dark. I'm going to have to put highlights on it to help make it pop out a little bit. I acknowledge this. Nice, but we can always come back through and change the base coloring on the panels if we need to. But I'd like to not if we don't have to. Trying to keep an eye on that sort of thing. Let's okay, so we have our shade in place. Now we can start building windows. We'll start with the same base. Let's go, where are we going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4 feet off. One, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, then 1, 2, 3. See, the paneling becomes self-referencing for what the size of these windows are supposed to look like. So I can just make these little blocks, and I'll probably keep doing this manually because I'm not sure exactly how I want to pace these things out. But this is a creative, fun space I'm going to play inside of right now. Actually, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. Have another one here.
about right. Yep, not quite. Not quite. Almost there. Stay on target. Almost there. There we go. It was just a little smidge off. Smidge. I'm just gonna have 2 bay windows there, and then maybe like a light gap. Maybe you've seen lights like that before. But since this tree line is getting in the way, I don't feel a real need. Oops. I certainly need to make sure I have it boxed in correctly. Yeah, I guess it works. And we can fancy it up like that. Up windows, up. Making windows, bay windows, bay windows, bay. There we go. Feels pretty good. We're just going to start with holes, and then we're going to, again, layer in, like these doors aren't going to remain like that. We'll build boards and paneling for that stuff. And then we want to do the same for here. 1, 2, 3. Huh. Yeah, 3 feels pretty natural. No, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, yep. That's good. So that rides along to here, which goes along to there. Yep. God, this is lining up so nicely. This has been I mean, it's been a lot of work, obviously, but God, the architecture on this is lining up so fucking choice. I'm legit proud of this piece. Just got to make sure the lighting works out. Oy vey. We'll get it. We'll get this guy. No. The physics, Kearney. The physics. I spy with my eye a discrepancy in perspective. Yeah, there's a flaw here. And it sucks to find one. This is not the same proportion as that. And that is ugly. So we're going to help. We're going to break. We're going to distort distance by creating some false shadow here. So we can create some more separation here. So we can get back to roughly the same shape. It's fine. We should be fine. I'm just going to cheat. I'm just going to cheat the edges a little bit here. There, that's close enough. We're going to be okay with that. I'm going to actually cheat that edge just a little bit more. There. There, good enough. It's a cheat, but it's good enough. Next, let's work here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, we're gonna end in a good place. God, this has been a badass day, guys. I've really, really enjoyed my time this morning. Super looking forward to Martial Powers this afternoon, or at lunchtime. That's gonna be fucking awesome. And then back with Eberron token art later on this afternoon. That will also be super fun. Oh, that's perfect. That's a little off, but we're going to let it go. Cry Sabor. That feels pretty good overall. As long as I don't think about it too much, I'll start to cry. So let's not think about it. Here's our keyhole. Two of them here, because generic, why not? Bloop, bloop. There. I'm gonna run this down the middle. There, create some more structure around this, just a little bit more. That's good. That's gonna be plenty good. This is probably about the scale where most of you guys can comfortably read it. Like, that's a little bit too small for me. Like, it's on the edge. I have to lean my face like literally this far away from a 32-inch monitor. I have to get this far away from you to read the text at that resolution. You guys could probably read it just fine. And if that's the case, and if I'm right, if that is the case, then that is plenty of detail at that resolution for this to turn out to be a really fucking good piece. But even if you zoom in, the detail, I mean, as a PDF, you will be able to zoom in this much and see this level of detail. It'll be there for you. It'll be great. It'll be great. So let's just finish off the work here real quick, and then be ready to punt out of here. Very, very happy with this work. Let's build like that. That's pretty wide for a window, actually. Let's squeeze that back down and just a little more squarish. See if we can have a consistency here. Squashing you down your way. No, wrong way. Let's try that now. Thank you. Yeah, that feels about right. So what, like maybe about here. There. Pull that there. Then pull this to here. Use that size tick. How's that sitting? Yeah, that's pretty good. And what to here? Too wide. About like that. Ooh, nice. And then we got a last. We have a bookend. Oh, I have multiple folders. Really, you sound like you know what I'm talking about. There we go. Okay, those are pretty good. Now, come on, dog. Thank you. Woof, woof. Little bay windows, right? Architecture. Gotta make sure that we have angles here synchronized. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we should fill that in. Yeah, I hear you. I want to make a little arch in there. Oh, God, that looks good. That just feels right. Look at that shit. Yeah. I know. Yeah. All right. There we go. So, yeah, I think this is where we're going to leave off for today. So this has been a hella run. Oh my god, what a great time. This is coming along very, very nicely. This is going to be a badass building when it's done. We'll just have to build out I'm just pointing at the screen like you can see what I'm pointing at. We're going to do parallel to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to have maybe like 1, 2, 3 here at the top in the attic. You can see here, this is lining up. I want to have this line up with these bay windows here, so I actually need to push this up a tick. Ooh, wrong way to do that, Kearney. Let's break you off into your own Nisbet thing here. Make sure you're lining up. Just before we end our time here real quick, let's just line up our bay window here. Whoop. Beep, 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 beep. About there. Feels right. No, actually, you know what? I should be lining that up over this one because that's how I said I wanted to do it. So let's get our verticals right. Oh, our perspective is off. That's what's going on. Okay, hold on. Nice. There we go. Obviously, we have a perspective issue that we need to resolve. Free transform, perspective, and then free transform for shortening. Here, and this one is here, and this one is here, and this one. I think I need to redo those. But not right now. That's a perspective thing that I'm going to deal with next time. So, but you can see what that process is, and then I'll replicate that again here in the uppest roof. And then we'll have those as little bay windows that are sitting there, and then we just put in the frames around the windows so they look pretty. I think I need to work on this perspective a little bit inside of here. That feels off-ish, doesn't it? That's an easy fix, though. We can just skew that up a bit, and it'll be fine. Nice. All right, that's it for today, guys. I'm going to be back in about an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. It's 9:45 here in Seattle. I plan on being back at 11 o'clock. We're going to do a few hours. If I can get 3 hours of martial powers in today, if I can tolerate it, if my brain and my emotions can handle it, I'll put in 3 hours of martial powers. Then we'll take an hour or so break, and then we'll come back and we'll do a couple hours of stock art for our Eberron creature tokens, and then we'll yeet for the day. But thanks a lot, guys. I'm going to, at some point, probably extract that
that presentation for the Roll20 thing, and I'll probably post that on Sunday, so I have Sunday content when I'm normally not on. But I'll do that 3 times today. Those other 2 times, I'll be back tomorrow morning to do more of my book cover commission project, working on the dimensional gate that we're building. And then I'll have the Roll20 thing up on Sunday, and then we'll be back again here in Spelljammer on Monday morning. So check back in with me in about an hour or so, and we'll be kicking through some more martial powers stuff. And thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. Anyone that's around, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. When I do, I'll provide all my toolkit for free, my brush tools on my Patreon for free. I've got that Roll20 thing that's up and running for you guys to take a look at right now. I've got some heavy bundle bonus discounts for folks that want to pick up my books. Follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney, and I will see you all on the other side. Thanks a lot. Later, guys.